What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Right now I'm in Ukraine. Last video I recorded with the City A kit reviews was in Venice, so obviously been hopping around a bit, but today I figured, why don't I look at all of the Premier League kits that have just been released for this season. Lots of interesting stuff has been released. Honestly, I've been a little bit more impressed with City A kits, but still lots of interesting stuff with the Premier League going on. Not everything has been released yet from my knowledge. Maybe I will be missing some clubs or away kits and all that, so keep that in mind. I'm doing this a bit early, but still want to get this video out there for you guys. But before we get into my ratings of these kits, let's take a look at our sponsor, OneFootball. OneFootball is an amazing app which covers all leagues in football, club and international. You can stay up to date with all of your favorite competitions. Instead of having to Google search everything over and over again, everything's right there, easy to access and view. The app's got you covered on schedules, tables, the latest news including transfers, and you can even select your favorite teams you wish to receive extra notifications for. You can even look at the stats for each player playing in every competition, which can help you stay up to date with fantasy leagues you're in. Guys, I highly recommend you get this app. It's completely free, easy to use. You might as well check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. Alright, so there's a lot more kits that we're going to be going over in this video, and then in the previous video with the City A kits, so keep that in mind. I'm probably going to be a bit more brief than the last one, just to speed things up. But obviously we gotta start out with Arsenal if we're going alphabetical order, and they actually killed it. Arsenal have been doing really good with their kits. They haven't been necessarily performing at their best, but kit game, always on point. Their one last year was amazing, and this one also very nice. A little bit more clean, honestly. I gotta give this kit an 8.5 out of 10. Looking at their away kit though, not as nice in my opinion. I appreciate where they're going with it. I like how they changed the badge up to make it just the cannon, and I like what they did with the sleeves, obviously. Maybe I would have picked a different shade of yellow though. Overall, not a bad kit, just not my favorite. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Next up, Aston Villa. It doesn't look necessarily very different from their last one, apart from the detailed stripes they added in the center. I think it was a bit of an unnecessary change, to be honest. I feel like their previous kit did its job. This one, just a bit of unnecessary touches in my opinion, so I'm giving this one a 6.5 out of 10. As of now, we don't have their away kit, so we're moving on to Brentford. It's a basic design. I do like their sponsor though, Hollywood Bets, but yeah, the red and white stripes are a bit basic. Not expecting much from Brentford, obviously, because they're not a massive club, but yeah, not the best kit in the world. 6 out of 10. I'm just not impressed. The away kit, I like it a little bit more, to be honest. I mean, obviously it's nothing too impressive. They got an interesting sleeve design, but overall, nothing too crazy here either. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Now for Brighton's home kit. Honestly, I didn't give Brighton a very good review in the last kit review I've done, but I learned to appreciate it as time went on. It actually was a really nice kit. This one obviously screams Brighton, but to me it's a bit of a downgrade from the last year's. It's just more basic. Nothing to hate about it, just a bit of a downgrade. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Their away one though, very unique. Obviously a very cool color. What they did on the sleeves is sick. I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10. I actually really dig it. Now for Burnley's. This is a massive upgrade. They've added so much detail if you look closely in the center, but the blue sleeves, obviously very different, not as basic. I was not a huge fan of Burnley's previous kits. Massive upgrade in my opinion. 8.5 out of 10 for me. Now for Chelsea's. Chelsea's kit 2 years ago I think was their best. This one, not very nice. In my opinion, if they just stuck with one of these pattern designs, preferably the one that zigzag that covers most of the kit. I don't know, the checkers on the right just really are not fitting to me. I feel like if they just kept it as one, it would have been good. So for that, I gotta give this kit a 6 out of 10. Their away one is interesting. Thin black lines going down horizontally. I actually like it more than their home one, to be honest, surprisingly. Not gonna rate it too highly though. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Now for Crystal Palace, what an upgrade. They've done this kind of design in the past, but now they've added the detail with the eagle just blended in on the yellow. It's just perfect. Looks stunning. Just because of that bit of detail, I'm rating this kit very highly. 9 out of 10 Crystal Palace. But that's their away kit. They haven't released their home yet as of now. Moving on to Everton. I like the pattern. I appreciate where they're going, but there's just something off with it. I guess I'm not a huge fan of what they did at the end of the sleeves and the collar. It's just a tiny bit off-putting to make it look that extra bit of badass. It's not a horrible kit though, just not very impressive. To me, this gets a 7 out of 10. Their away one I'm not very impressed with either. It's just a diagonal red line. It's cool that the badge is black, but I'm just not a huge fan. I gotta give it a 6 out of 10. Now for Leeds. I don't know if my phone is just giving a weird image, but it looks like the yellow on this kit is a bit too highlighty for me. I think it's better when it's just like gold. This is like highlighter color in my opinion. Especially on the shoulders with the Adidas lines. Not a bad kit though, just I'm giving a lot of 6 out of 10s. This is another one, 6 out of 10 for Leeds. Now for Leicester. I love that camo looking theme, I guess. It looks very nice with this kit. I have to say I like their previous sponsors more, like King Power, but you know, it's still a very, very solid kit. For me, this gets a solid 8 out of 10. Now for Liverpool. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of what they do with that orange and red combination. I feel like this kit would have been nice if the collar and the sleeves and the detail was white instead of orange. Great design, just bad color choice in my book. So definitely not Liverpool's best kit. Sorry, 6.5 out of 10. Their away one again, I like where they're going, but I'm not a huge fan of the coloring. I genuinely like the color orange, but the combination they're doing with it just doesn't work. Orange and that dark green, I don't know. Like where they're going with though, like the underlying pattern in the center, but yeah. It's a 6.5 out of 10 for me, I'm sorry. And their third, I'm sorry. I hope this one is insured. That's a 4 out of 10. Manchester City. Manchester City never really has bad kits. They're always solid. I liked their one last year a bit more, but this is still fine. Bit basic, but yeah, I think it's a downgrade, but overall still a nice kit. 7 out of 10. Their away one though, this is definitely a hit or miss for everybody. People are gonna love this or hate it with what they did with the coloring, especially with the sponsor, the Puma, the badge. I like it though. 8 out of 10 for me. Now for Manchester United. I am sorry, United fans, but this is a massive, massive downgrade in my opinion. Manchester United always kills it with their kit game. This, on the other hand though, I'm seeing people say it looks like something from Sunday League. To me, it just looks like what, for example, Pez would put in their game if they didn't have the license for Manchester United. It just looks like a bad kit. Their sponsor also, they're losing the Chevrolet sponsor. Downgrade. The design, not good. Horrible kit to me. I gotta give it a 4 out of 10. Sorry, United fans. I really liked your kits in the past. Not this year though. Now for Newcastle. I like the approach of what they did. I think the buttons in the center with that line, I think it's just a bit too long of a white line in the center. But other than that, they did a very good job with this kit. So for that, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. It's solid, but a few flaws. No away kit, but moving on to Norwich. I've never been a huge fan of Norwich's colors, but they're obviously not gonna change them. And based on the colors they've got, they killed it with this design. It's a huge upgrade from what they normally have. -2 for the bad coloring, but yeah, still solid. 8 out of 10 for me. Now moving on to Southampton. I love the design that they have with the arrows, but I do think that black collar is a little bit too fat. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. Their third one has a better approach though. Like the football pitch is designed as a pattern. 7.5 out of 10. Now for Tottenham, in my opinion, the home kit, nothing special, but I wasn't expecting any more, to be honest. I mean, it's usually how it goes, something like this. Not really bad, just bland. 6.5 out of 10. Their away one is a huge hit or miss for people. I already know it. I mean, you're either gonna really appreciate this interesting design or you're just gonna be like, it's too much. I'm mixed because I like these kind of designs, but this one is just a bit too screechy, I guess, for me. I feel like it could have been executed a tiny bit better, but overall, I do like it. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. But moving on to the last club we're looking at, Watford. I'm sorry, I don't like it. I never really liked Watford's kits, to be honest. I've just never really been a fan. And this stripe design, I like where they're going, but doesn't work for me. I'm being cruel this video, I'm sorry, but 4.5 out of 10. Their away one though, if this is true, this literally just looks like Belgium's kit. Not bad necessarily. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Now while I was editing, I realized I forgot to include West Ham and Wolves, but I obviously can't leave them out. Now West Ham's home kit, I think it could have been executed a little bit better. I just think the sky blue on the shoulders go down a bit too much. Geometrically, just not my favorite design. I think they've done better in the past. 6 out of 10 for their home kit, but their away one, much, much better. I honestly like the color stripe scheme, so I'll give that one a 7.5 out of 10. For Wolves, nothing too different with this. I mean, it just looks like a typical Wolves kit. Nothing special, but I always appreciated their kits, so I'll give this one an 8 out of 10. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. Hope you all did enjoy. Let me know what your opinions are about all these kits in the comments below. Always love to hear you guys think. Like this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all very, very soon. La noche.